Translator. All right. Welcome, everybody, to What If Your Body is the Opposite of What It Appears to Be? I want to actually just thank everybody. Well, thank you all for being here. And this has been an awesome creation. I want to really thank my team for everything they've put into this call, and the translators that are here. It's been a big creation for us, and I'm very, very grateful. So, and thank you all and your bodies for bringing you here. I was really perceiving the bodies leading up to this, and just in the past hour, it was like, and this morning I woke up and it's like all the bodies are like, yes, yes. So thank you for knowing to be here, and for whether you realize it or not, thank you for listening to your body and coming. And your body chose to see my email. Great. So to me, this is actually a call about X-Men and bodies, which is like I love this conversation of really looking at how different we are and how different our bodies are. And so I want to just do a couple little housekeeping thingies, because I don't know where everybody came from. I think a lot of you guys have had exposure to Access Consciousness and the Access Consciousness clearing statement. But if you haven't, or you're seeing this later on YouTube or whatever, the Access Consciousness clearing state, this is a call based on the tools and processes from Access Consciousness. An amazing, huge, magnanimous body of work that really is a way of being and living and creating in the world with every aspect of our lives, and acknowledging that everything is energy. And when you go to the energy of anything and everything, and you acknowledge it, and you work with it, and you create with it, you can change and create anything. And we use this beautiful clearing statement: right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. And that clearing statement is it just deletes a bunch of stuff that's not you, limitations, points of view, etc. You don't have to know how it works. It just works. So join jump into the river and enjoy the ride. And if you are not familiar with the clearing statement, you can go to theclearingstatement.com later and hear more about it. Find out, what is this weird thing? So I just wanted to start with that. X-Men is also so I facilitate a bunch of different things in Access Consciousness. I'm a Being You, Changing the World facilitator. I am a Joy Business facilitator. I facilitate X-Men classes. I'm a 3-day body facilitator. And I've really used these tools in every area of my life to create something far greater than what I had before. Thank you, Lucia. So she, in the chat, she says, Heather's X-Men classes are off the charts. I would have to agree with you. They're really awesome. I would say every X-Men class I've ever done is amazing. And so let's talk about X-Men, because that's, some people have a familiarity with that conversation and some people don't. But the X-Men universe is really like the world of what is different about you. And a lot of people think that X-Men are, kids that have been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, OCD, and autism. And, when I took X-Men, at my first time I even had an X-Men conversation, I was like, oh, this doesn't apply to me. And then I went, oh my gosh, wow. All of this is really light, and I think it actually does apply to me. I'm not a kid. I've never had a diagnosis. But to me, X-Men is this invitation to explore the universe of you and how different you actually be and function in the world. And it's not about defining, am I an X-Men or am I not an X-Men? It's about, hey, what if you're aware of way more than you think you are? What if you're a different creature than you think you are? What if, oh my gosh, Soren and Stacy Stewart, your dog is just amazing. What a beautiful creature. Speaking of beautiful creatures, I'm so grateful. But that's, what if every single one of you is a unique, beautiful creature? What if you're not a human? You're not even really a person. You are a unique, phenomenal, beautiful creature of your own, like of your own type, you know? So everything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive the beautiful creature that you are, that you and your body are, will you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all name, puck, pudge, shorts, boys, povads, and meows. And, you know, one of the things I remember as a kid growing up in the world, and because, sorry, translators, jumping around. So let me back up and say, one of the things about X-Men is that X-Men don't know how to function from judgment. We perceive it dynamically and we learn it and we adopt this way of being in the world that's about judgment. But we don't inherently know how to do that. We have to learn it. So everything that you've done to learn judgment, to teach yourself how to function from judgment so that you can be a people, will you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pudge, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So, with that, I remember as a kid, like observing the world around me and being like, okay, that is wrong. Okay, cool. So now I know that that's wrong and that's right. And that thing that person said wasn't okay. And this thing that I just did wasn't okay. You know, and I kind of had to like memorize it all. Does anybody else remember doing that? Being like, okay, let me learn. How does it work here on this planet? You know? And I remember like training myself, you know, this is how I need to be in the world. This is like, and I remember like doing things and saying things that I found out later were like not appropriate, but I thought they were funny. Still don't know how it works. Exactly. I'm still like, oh, right. I shouldn't have said that. Was I thinking out loud again? You know? So we you know, we turn ourselves into people, and by learning the ways of the world, learning the ways of judgment, the ways of relationship. And also if we, you know, because this is the call about bodies as well. I'm getting there, but I want to set the stage too. We also, you know, develop these judgments of how our bodies are and what our bodies are, according to this reality, right? According to, okay, so this is a body. It's like the doctor says it's supposed to function like this. You know, my mom says I need to eat breakfast every day. My mom is a firm believer in breakfast. And I was always like, I don't want to eat breakfast. I don't actually want to eat much of anything until I do. And I don't know when that's going to be. It's going to be different every day, right? These are the things. And then we learn and we're like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, it's noon, I need to eat, you know, I'm sick, I need medicine. Something's wrong with my body. I need to fix it. Well, the thing is that like one of the beautiful things about the X-Men conversation for me is that it allows you to start to flip everything on its head. So what if everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be? And everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be, and everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And when you start to live this conversation of going, whoa, okay, if I'm not wrong and I'm strong, if I'm not messed up, I'm actually brilliant. If I'm not, incapable, but I'm actually aware, then what? Because we have so much awareness. We have so much awareness. X-Men are aware of everything, basically. There's this spherical awareness that X-Men have that is the past, the present, and the future all occurring simultaneously. So you might be aware of something that's going to happen in a year, and you might think it's happening now. You might be aware of something that happened 300 years ago, and the energy of that is present in your world right now. And this is one of the things that people, they really kind of like bend, fold, staple, and mutilate themselves to try to make sense of all of this awareness before they realize that it's awareness. And it turns into things like anxiety, depression, OCD, ADD, ADHD, autism, different various, forms of mental illness, things that we do with our bodies, and Tara says, things are obvious to you that no one else gets, and then you're wrong. Exactly. Other people make you wrong, or you make you wrong, because you're like, I'm the only one who is aware of this, right? Surely, like, I must be the wrong one, because one of the primary characteristics of X-Men is that we are sort of the first to make ourselves wrong. We don't tend to make other people wrong. We tend to make ourselves wrong. So if you're different and you're perceiving all these different things going on in the world energetically, and the people around you are not, or they're not speaking to it, you're going to be the wrong one. Okay. But what I'm going to invite you to is, what if you're the brilliant one? What if you're the aware one? What if you are actually far more aware than everybody around you? And what if that is your incredible and amazing and phenomenal superpower, and one of the things that makes you different in the world? And if you look at this from a perspective of creation, if you're willing to use that, if you're willing to have that as your brilliance, like everything that you think is wrong about you, what if all of that was a gold mine of brilliance, including your body, and you could actually use it to create something different? And this is where, if you look at like all the brilliant ideas out there, about different businesses and creations, and, when you see something and you're like, I wish I had thought about that, what if you have access to that, all of these different ideas and creations and awarenesses that are unique to you? And the thing is that we can't actually receive that which we judge. We can't receive from something that we judge. You judge you, can't receive from you. You judge your awareness, you can't receive from your awareness. You judge somebody or something else, you can't receive from it. You judge your body, you can't receive from your body, right? So everywhere that you have eliminated your receiving in favor of your judgment so that you can stay normal, average, real, and the same as everybody else, will you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. Now let's look at our bodies with this. Okay, so I wanted to start with the X-Men stuff, because this is a big, it's like when you start to perceive yourself as an energetic being and an energetic creature and a being of awareness, of being, knowing, perceiving, and receiving, that functions totally from energy. Okay. And you start to get this, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be world, right? So you can start to have more of all these things that you've judged out of existence in your own life as capacities, as your difference, as your awareness, as your brilliance. Your being gets to shine more, right? Your being gets to come through more. Your being gets to play more. You get to relax into that and enjoy the difference that you are, and flip that universe of where everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. But you get to actually start to see everything that you think is wrong about you as your brilliance. Okay, that's the kind of overarching theme for me of the X-Men conversation. Now, let's look at that with the bodies, right? Because our bodies, so one of the things I love about Access is we have this conversation about how, your body and your being are not the same thing. Like they're not, it's not one thing, right? Your body is an organism of consciousness, right? And it has more solidity than you do as a being because it exists in physical reality. It has a molecular structure to it, right? But your body actually is far less solid than you think it is. And one of the things that judgment does is it solidifies things, right? So you have solidified, we've all solidified our bodies way more than they need to be with our judgments, our definitions, our conclusions, our computations, our projections and expectations of what our bodies are. We're like, it's solid, it's hard to change, it's fixed. I need to work really hard to change my body or create something different with my body. Okay, so everything, all of that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. So, and the cool thing about this conversation of beings and bodies, right? It's like your being chooses this particular body that you have in this lifetime. Like your being is like, I'm going to have this body. And you might be like, why the fuck did I choose that? Right. But if you do, so POC and POD that, that's the short version of the clearing statement. But your being is like, I'm going to have this body because it's going to actually create exactly what I would like to create for myself in this particular lifetime. Okay. I'm going to come in and I'm going to be this person with this body. And there's a reason, in a way. It's not about getting into the reason, but there's like a purpose, there's something that your body is going to gift you that you've, decided or whatever that you were aware of, really. And so there's this interaction between our being and our bodies, right? And our being actually is like, we as a being, we are the space between the molecules of our bodies. And you may have heard that sentence before, okay? But I actually want to bring this to a very pragmatic conversation, because your being is the space between the molecules of your body that determines how those molecules show up. Okay, if you look at any conversation about physics, molecules perform and show up and engage and behave differently depending on the space, right? You observe a molecule and it changes, right? You observe a molecule with judgment, guess what you do? You change it, you solidify it, you project that judgment upon those molecules, and those molecules will show up differently because that is how consciousness works. Okay, so everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of this, will you destroy and uncreate it? Somebody say yes, shake your head, whatever. Right, wrong, give, that, all nine, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. Okay, so as you show up as a being with more space, as you show up as a being who has less judgment, as you show up as a being who's so curious, like, wow, I'm so different. I wonder what's available to me that isn't available to other people. I wonder what is right about me that I'm not getting. I wonder what's right about my body that I'm not getting. The molecules of your body begin to behave differently. So how do we change our bodies? Well, a lot of it is like this, is being different, getting out of the judgments and the wrongness, the projections, the expectations, and into the awareness of this whole reality is so dynamically changeable, possible, mutable. Like I could have anything, I could be anything. This body can be anything. It depends on the points of view that you have and that you bring to it. Okay, so when you function from this reality with your body, you have the belief of, there's a lot of judgment there, and the decisions and the conclusions about how bodies are. Bodies age, bodies get sick, and then they need medicine, whatever, they need vaccines, all this stuff, right? And I'm gonna, this is my lifespan, and this is why as I get older, I can't do this with my body, and I need my 3 meals a day, and I need to, do all these things. If I want to lose weight, I have to do this. If I want to have this, I have to do this, right? There's so much judgment, projections, expectations, solidifications of our bodies based on the story of body, like human bodies in this reality. And humans are not X-Men. They're not humanoids. Humans, they're a different species, actually. And I'm just going to invite you to go with me on this one. If that's not a familiar conversation to you, what if humans and X-Men, humanoids and X-Men are kind of like on the same spectrum, right? Different species. Okay. If a human is a cow and a humanoid X-Men, is a horse, you're not going to treat the cow the way that you're going to treat the horse. You're not going to get on the back of a cow and ask it to run. You're not going to leave the horse out in the pasture to chew grass and never let it run. Some people do that with horses, and that's very unkind. So horses like to run, right? Well, some horses do. Most horses do, I would say, when they're being the horse that they are. So what if you and your body like to run? And I don't mean like you like to jog, but that energy of because X-Men are fast, they're dynamic, they can change like that because they are less defined. They don't have, when you're functioning from the space of being you as an X-Men, you don't have definition. You don't have limitation. You don't have solidification. It all comes from your projections and your expectations and your engagement with this reality and your belief in this reality and your belief that your body is going to perform and show up and function in a certain way. So when you bring the space to the molecules of your body of oh, hey, what you got? What are you, what are you that I've never acknowledged before? Your body may be getting kind of happy with those questions, right? My body is like, yes. Right. So my body gets really excited about this stuff. Because it's like, yeah, this. I'm not solid. I'm not limited. I'm not even real. I'm not subject to this reality. I actually like to play. I like to run. I like to do different things. I don't always want food. I don't always want water. I don't need to have my 8 glasses of water a day, whatever it is. And those are just little things, right? But we project and we impel all this stuff at our bodies. You need this, you need this, you need this, you need your 8 hours of sleep, you need your 3 meals a day, your 8 glasses of water, your everything, all of that is everything you've decided is good for your body. We destroy and uncreate all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, puck, pod, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Yeah, Jefferson's body wants to fly. Me too. Me too. I remember actually, I think it was my first advanced body class in Access. So we have these beautiful body classes, the 3-day body class and the advanced body class. And these beautiful body processes that are these energies, you put your hands on bodies and you run these energies, and the energies are absolutely like designed, shall we say, for humanoid and X-Men bodies. The body processes are actually here to undo everywhere that you've made your body at the effect of this reality, everywhere you've made your body human, everywhere you've made your body a people, right? Everywhere you've made it solid, the body processes actually undo that. They undo, they like strip off all the layers of humanness and solidity and judgment and definition that we've given to our bodies. How does it get even easier than that? Okay, you don't have to do anything. You lay on the table, you sleep. Most people fall asleep. And you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm different. My body's different. So my first advanced body class, there was this one particular process that we ran. It was about hormones, actually. It was about undoing all the synthetic hormones in our systems. And there's so many conversations, like weird, wacky, wild conversations about bodies and all the body processes that just, we definitely don't have time to get into on this call. But I remember coming out of that class and being like, I actually can fly. And I literally wanted to like get on the roof and like jump off and flap my wings, I didn't, but the sense of, and so what if, and I actually, the cool thing is I fly in my sleep a lot. I fly in my dreams a lot. It's really, 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 really fun. And I don't dream that much, but when I do, oftentimes I'm flying and it's super fun. So I get to fly a lot. I don't necessarily have the point of view that I have to do that I have to like flap my wings, and fly, and hey, I'm willing to do that too. That would be cool. That'd be fun. But when we get out of the definition of all of this stuff, we actually get to have it however it shows up. We get to have the energy of it. And X-Men, the energy is what's real for X-Men. Like that's what, so if you feel like you're flying because you're excited and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just like, my body is so happy. That's actually, what if that was part of the energy of flying, right? And you get to have the joy of that and the glory of that and the ease of that and the glee of that and the exuberance of that, right? And you let that gift your body, let that gift your life, let that gift all of your creations, and everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pod, shorts, boys, poets, fans. People are getting naked in the chat. I love it. So good. So the body processes, like they not only undo how we've made ourselves human, they also exponentialize what is possible for you to be and how it's possible for you to function beyond this reality. And one of the things, I just took an advanced body class, I don't know, a week or two ago. And a lot of it was actually Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, who facilitates this class. He was talking about how this class is going to even become more of like like really undoing all the lies of aging, and he's going to move a lot of things around, and it was very cool to perceive. But there's a lot of we have a lot of body processes and Access that are about reverse aging and undoing aging, because aging is a construct. It is something that we do to our bodies. We impel at our bodies as like, this is the necessity of time, but time Time for X-Men doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make any sense because it isn't actually real. It's energetically, time is a lie. It's a conclusion and a solid fixed reality. Anything that is a conclusion and a solid fixed reality for you as an X-Men, I'm just going to call you an X-Men now. That actually it's nothing is solid for you. Nothing is solid. And you may be like, okay, cool. That sounds great. Now, how the hell do I get there? Well, that's, that's a compliment. But this is where you get to just be on the journey of this all the time, because we can undo our solidifications and our judgments all the time. You get to undo them all the time, every day, by showing up and using the basic tools of access consciousness, the 10 keys to freedom that you find in the foundation class. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Who does this belong to? Would an infinite being truly choose this? There's so many tools, and the tools are so pragmatic. They work to undo solidification and exponentialize the space, the energy, the space, the consciousness, the magic, mysteries, miracles, possibilities, power, and potency that you be as a being who has this amazing body that you chose to play with. So if you chose to play with your body, what did you know about that? What did you know about choosing to play with this amazing, brilliant, phenomenal organism that your body is? What if that could be your life? What if that could be your world? What if every morning you could wake up and be like, how did I get so lucky to play with you? And go on the adventure of the enjoyment of having a body, the enjoyment of embodiment, the greatness of embodiment. You don't have to know how. And even if it seems impossible, you can choose it right now and be like, you know what, whatever it takes, I don't know how, I'm going to have that. I'm just going to have it. Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pod, shorts, boys, puffs, and meows. And again, I just want to say, and this is kind of like, now we're having like choice of possibilities, class or whatever. But I do want to, I want to highlight choice as the, really, I would say the most dynamic tool for creation and having what you desire that there is. And you as the source, you as the infinite being, creature of energetic brilliance that you be as an X-Men, you are the source. And the more you pay attention to solidity, judgment, conclusion, computation, projections, making you real, making your body real, making everything that you do real, solidifying it, being a people, right? The more you do that, the more you desire to do that, the more you choose that, that's what you're going to have more of. And then your body's going to be like, okay, if you want me to be human, all right, I'm capable of being a lot more, but if you insist, because again, you're the space between the molecules that determines how those molecules show up. You, the being, are the space between the molecules of your body that determines how the molecules of your body show up. How would you like to be? How would you like to show up? How would you like to vibrate those molecules? With judgment, with solidity, with rejection, with separation, with impossibility? Okay, I'll stop. Everything that is, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pot, shorts, boys, puffs, and meows. Or curiosity, wonder, question, choice. possibility, awareness, magic, miracles, mysteries, everything being possible. Now, what is going on in your body as we talk about this? And it's not just what we're talking about, it's the energy that we are all being here. This is the X-Men universe, guys. Welcome to the X-Men universe. We come together. Yeah, there's words, and the words are having an effect, but there's an energetic reality going on here that we are all contributing to. We're all creating together. Your bodies were like, get your butt to this call. And even if you're listening later, maybe you're not here now, but you are here now, because for X-Men, there's no such thing as time. Past, present, and future occur simultaneously. You might find this video on YouTube in 5 years, and I am talking to you as well. In 10 years, in 100 years, I'm talking to every body in the world that is willing to have this, every creature in the world that is willing to have this. And the beauty is that what we're creating with consciousness, it is our time. Like, there is so much that is dying in this reality right now. There's so much that is dying. And that's a beautiful thing. And when you have that perspective of turning quote unquote problems into possibilities, you are part of the, that which brings the possibilities, the harbinger of possibilities. Sorry, translators. I don't know if that's a word in other languages. But you are part of that. And do not underestimate that in you. When you judge you don't get to be as dynamically part of that as you actually are. And it's not gonna look for you like it does for me or anybody else. This is where we have to stay out of judgment, to have that, the kindness with ourselves, the allowance of ourselves, the recognition and the receiving of who and what we actually are. And all of it is a choice. And I see your hands, and I will get to your questions really quick, really soon. But this piece about choice, I want to really highlight, because in Access, you take a bars class. Bars is an amazing body process, also undoes a lot of this stuff we're talking about. Please get your bars run as many times as you can, as many days for the rest of your life and beyond as you can. It's also one of those things that just changes things without you having to even think about it. You take a foundation class, and you take a choice of possibilities class. These are just, there's a lot of classes, and I love all of them, and they're all brilliant. And I recommend taking as many as you can, as often as you can. That's basically what I've done. And it has been such a gift to me, because these are the conversations that I want to immerse myself in. I'm like, it's not about, going to a class and then going back to my reality. No. I'm like, this is my life. This is what I live. This is what I like to be doing with my time, is playing with these possibilities and with all of you, So lots of classes, lots of choices. And the beauty is, side note, when you function from all of these things that we're talking about, the creation of money, easy. Like, it actually gets a lot easier and more easier as you go. Like, it becomes part of your world, and it's a whole different conversation. And I just want to mention that, because people are like, money, no, you as an X-Men have, and including your body in creation. Oh my gosh, the possibilities that you have for the creation of money is like totally unfair to the rest of the world. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. So choice, the reason I started talking about the classes is because I have ADD and ADHD. But I was thinking about choice, and, choice of possibilities. And choice is you don't, basically my point, took me a while to get here, is that you do not have to like have taken choice of possibilities class, to know how to choose. Like, that's never my point of view. You know how to choose. I'm just gonna like, that's how I'm gonna like be with you. You know how to choose, because you choose all day long, every day. And a lot of times we choose a lot of crap. You choose crap, you get crap. You choose brilliance, you get brilliance. Like, you know how to choose. And part of choice is getting more present with ourselves. What am I choosing right now? What am I doing with my energy right now? Right? What am I actually choosing right now? Because if you're willing to look at that and you're willing to be honest with yourself about what you're choosing, where your priorities are, which, side note, like how your life is right now is a reflection of all of the choices that you've made up until this moment, the good, the bad, the ugly. Be honest with yourself about it. Okay. Because in the moment, you can tweak those choices into greater choices. You can do that like right now. If you're sitting here being like judging yourself because you're like, oh, I choose crap. Stop. That's the most advanced tool in access consciousness. Stop it. Because that's all you have to do is go, oh, wait, never mind. And the beauty is X-Men are fast and energetic. And when you get into the energy and the choice and you're like, boom, 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 that's welcome to you, welcome to how you move in the world. And you're going to have your own, flavor of that. So you have choice right now. You have it. It's yours. It's you. Now, what are the choices you'd like to be making with your body? What are the choices you'd like to be making with your life, with how you be with yourself, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay, Nini.
Hi, Heather. Thank you for this call.
You're welcome.
I am pretty connected to my body. I have taken some 3-day body classes, but somehow I managed to create tears in my muscle on my right shoulder.
Okay.
I went for MRI and they said I have some torn stuff. So what I'm doing, I'm asking this question: does the being can have this? I'm trying to ask questions from my body, and the infinite being really can have a torn muscle in the body. And I read the 3-day body book, but is there any other tools you can give me before I see the surgeon?
Oh, yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. Because I'm sure that question applies, in some way to a lot of people. Because we do have those things, we create those things with our bodies, right? Now, the starting, I would say, like, for me, always, like, I have, and this is something I've developed over time, right? It's a continuous choice, 10-second increments of choice, right? Is to always be curious about everything. And to the best of my ability, I do. And then there's more, right? So I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but if we look at the body, it's like to always go to curiosity. Okay. Which means you have to give up the problem solution paradigm of bodies in this reality. That's human reality with bodies. Problem, solution. Here, the problem is the tear, the solution is the surgery. Okay. All right. That's what a doctor thinks. Fine. Does not have to be relevant to you. Okay. Body, what is this? Body, what's right about this I'm not getting? What are you showing me? There's a whole massive conversation that can be had. I actually did, and we can send this in the email. It's only in English, but I did a really beautiful series last year, just about a year ago, called Body Show Me. I've done it many times, but this one was like a 8-part telecall. It was slightly different than how I've done it before. And we really went into a lot of this stuff, and it's actually becoming a book where I'm writing a book. It's turning it into a book. So that'll be out at some point. But it was a lot about being really present with your body and being in the curiosity, right? And so, because when you're curious about it, your body can show you all kinds of things, and I always, whenever there's something like that, like an injury or something like that going on with my body, I'm like, what's the possibility here? Is my body mutating? And a lot of times my body's like, yep. Okay, cool. Like I'm an ice skater, and I get a lot of, I don't have it anymore because I've changed it. But I've had a lot of hip pain from like repetitive stuff that I do with skating. And I just have stayed with it. Like, okay, so what's required here, body? Okay, body work. I've had a lot of SE, energetic synthesis of structural embodiment. Beautiful, beautiful body work that is part of Access. Had a lot of SE. I've had some Rolfing, things like that. With a tear, you may want to do like circuitry, different body processes that you can run on it. Restoration of structural integrity and function, but just ask your body, hey, body, what is this? If this wasn't a problem, what would the possibility be? What is this? What do you require? What are you trying to show me? What can I do? And your body may actually be like, I want the surgery, and if your body actually does desire the surgery, give it the gift of that. And that's where you got to get over your points of view, because our bodies have their own consciousness. There are things that they desire. There are things that they are going to ask for, and they may not match your judgments. If you're like, I don't do surgery. Okay, well, what if your body's like, I'm going to be a lot greater if you do this surgery? Like, I have a friend who had a hip replacement this summer, and he's so happy that he did. Like, he's like, I have like new hips now, cool. I was like, oh, I had a lot of points of view about that, but the thing is, like, those points of view will keep you from receiving so many possibilities. And we tend to have points of view about this reality, like human reality, medicine. I have a lot of points of view about medicine. I've had a lot of weird shit happen to my body from pharmaceuticals, and I don't do pharmaceuticals really anymore, but I do when my body asks. Isn't that crazy? I don't do it, but I do it when it desires it, but it's when my body asks for it. And I'm like, okay, you're asking? Great. Now there's a whole conversation that we don't have time to have. And if you're interested, I would say get those calls, the body show me calls. Because it was a real deep dive into having a conversation with your body, like how to actually listen to your body, which is why I want to write this book, because it's a very foreign thing. We don't grow up learning how to have conversations with our body and how to listen. And I would say also the body processes facilitate that. The more you play with the body processes, take the body classes, they facilitate a different communion with your body, so that the listening and the conversation actually very available. It's very available. It just changes. You don't have to know how, it just changes. Chrissy has 3 artificial hips. I love that. That's a real mutant for you. I love you, Chrissy. Her body is so happy, right? She had 1 artificial hip replaced, so she doesn't actually have 3 hips, but I love it. Okay, Maria, I'm just aware of that.
Hi, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a question. You talk about to be different.
Yes.
And and maybe it's my stupid question, but it's easy to see how to really different you are, how really different is somebody else. But from this position, from this coordinate, it's slightly, it's, I don't know, it's up. So you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do get what you're asking. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, here's the I used to think this was like the most fucked up thing about consciousness.
Ask the question.
Drum roll,
and
please.
You shall receive.
Well, no, that actually when we're being, it feels like nothing.
Yes.
And we can't actually perceive, we don't perceive ourselves really at all. Like we perceive other people dynamically, but we don't really perceive ourselves, not in the way that we perceive other people. And I remember when I really got that, I was like, that's just messed up. Like, I want to be able to perceive myself, you know? The beauty of it is, it's all in the energy. Like, it's just, and this is where X-Men, welcome to the X-Men universe. Welcome to the X-Men universe. Because for X-Men, it's like, so everything is fast and instantaneous and has a sense of like, kind of like nothingness that is everythingness. And when you have that sense of nothingness, you may want to just ask, is this the everythingness that I be? Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. And nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing actually is the opposite of what it appears to be. So, yeah, that, and I'm gonna leave it there because I'm just aware of the time and let you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I thank you for the question, because it's really, it's one of those things you have to kind of get used to. Like you kind of have to like almost train yourself in a way to start to function from that. Like for me, I spent years actually being like, this is so fucked up. There's nothing happening, you know, and just being like, oh, and I have like, you could play replays of millions of classes during this phase of my life where all of my questions were like, what about when there's nothing? What about when there's nothing? What about when there's nothing? You know? And now for me, I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, here I am. Here I am.
Yes, it's not nothing, it's space.
It's space. Yeah. And that's you. And the weird thing is that we can't actually judge ourselves when there's that kind of space. And we also can't because we're so used to referencing ourselves from solidity.
Yes. And from validation from other people's.
Exactly. This is where, when you're like, I'm going to actually function from that, and validation, whatever, you know, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to function from the space that I be, which I call happy idiot phase, right? It's like, that's when you're like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm really happy and it's fun, you know? Yes. And you could be like, I don't have any money, but I'm happy and it's fun. I'm sick right now, but I'm happy and it's fun, you know? And it's not about denying it, you know, denying like, you know, things that you might need to look at or whatever. But what if you could have the space of the happy idiotness, the nothingness, that is the everythingness, that is you, the X-Men, with ease and joy and glory, and actually just like really enjoy that, you know, really have fun with that. And this is the beginning of an adventure. Okay. So that's what I want to really invite you guys to, because there's a million things that have been woven through this call, a million godzillion. Okay. And
thank you. My eyes like moon.
Yeah. Good. I like it.
Yes.
And you can have it all. It's like, just ask and like soak it up like the X-Men energetic sponge that you be like, and there are lots of things that I haven't said that you guys know that you're bringing, and there's all these energies. You can replay it. We'll have the audios, we'll have it on YouTube, all that stuff. Right. And, soak it in, go for it, like choose and ask. And, you know, like just use all the dang tools, and if you don't have a lot of tools, get your hands on more, look at some videos, look at Dane's Tour of Consciousness stuff, look at my YouTube channel. Like there's a million here on this Zoom, there's a million, well, not a million yet, but there will be later on. But there's a lot of fantastic facilitators here. There's so many people offering these tools all over the world. Get your hands on them. And when you do, use them. Commit to them. This is your world. This is our world. This is the X-Men humanoid universe. This is a universe of embodiment that's available to us. You got to just choose it. And what are you committed to? Are you committed to being human and stupid and slow? Are you committed to being dynamic and fast and amazing and creative and, all that? Because whatever you're committed to, that's what's going to show up. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, translators, for being here. We do have lots of amazing stuff coming up. The two things that I want to mention, because they're coming up right away, is I am doing a 3-day body class at the castle in Italy over New Year's, the 1st through the 3rd of January, Castello di Casalborgone in northern Italy. That is going to be freaking amazing. And we still have room in that. There's a ball on New Year's Eve the night before. So come to the castle for the body class. And the week after that, I'm going to be in Dubai and also online for a 2-day X-Men class. And the night before that, we're also doing an X-Men and Bodies class. So more of this kind of stuff. Those are both going to be online and also live in Dubai. So lots of fun stuff to play with. Just thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for being willing to be different. Thank you for being willing to be different. And even if you don't think you are, the fact that you're still here at the end of this conversation, it makes you weird. I'm sorry to say. You're a bunch of weirdos. So what are you going to do? Enjoy it or not? It's your choice. Okay. Thanks everybody so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And happy holidays, everybody. This is my Christmas gift to the world. So enjoy or not. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. You're so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Merci. Merci,
Bye.
merci, merci, merci.